Hello and welcome back to Petite Wreath Boutique. Happy birthday, America! 250 years to celebrate. Let's make a patriotic wreath together. You can decorate your home with this timeless wreath for the 4th of July, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, or even year-round. If you're new to my channel, please consider to subscribe. Now, what do we need to craft this wreath? Let's talk about the supply. An American-themed sign. This one says America the Beautiful and it's waterproofed. A 14-inch wreath frame as a base and a felt piece to cover the back of the wreath. Red deco mesh and also blue deco mesh, which is very pretty with this metallic border, and both are 10 inches wide. American-themed ribbon, a blue Swiss dot ribbon with 1.5 inches in width, a white ribbon with the same width, and the red one, which I ended up not using since it was too much red and also ended up being too dark. Some pipe cleaners, zip ties in 6 inches and 4 inches. When it comes to the tools, we need a piece of string to create a hanging loop, a rotary cutter, wire cutters, scissors for the ribbon, some pointy scissors for the felt, a hot glue gun, sanding paper for the waterproof sign, and a clip. Let's start with preparing the sign so the hot glue has enough time to cure. With the waterproof sign, I learned that as pretty as they are, they have a very smooth surface. To give the hot glue something to hold on to, I like to treat the sign with some sanding paper to make it less smooth. After the treatment, I go on as usual with putting down some of the hot glue and forming a U shape with the pipe cleaners and attaching it to the sign to cover it with another dip of hot glue as well as some felt scratches. For this method, we need to prepare the wreath frame as well before we can attach the mesh. We will need the pipe cleaners and also the 4-inch zip ties for this step. Although this is optional, just a personal preference to secure the pipe cleaners. So we will start with attaching the first pipe cleaner. We will use ring 1 and 2, counting from the inside, and put the pipe cleaner on there in the middle. In my case, the next attachment will be on ring 3 and 4. Just take the pipe cleaner, find the middle, give it a few twists. And if you would like to secure the pipe cleaner with the zip tie, you take the zip tie and pull it through in between the pipe cleaner and the wreath frame. Once it's attached, you can cut off the excessive tail of the zip tie. This 14-inch wired wreath frame is divided in 6 sections. Per section, we will attach 3 pipe cleaners, 1 facing in and 2 facing out. So we will have a total of 18 pipe cleaners. The pattern per section is attachment on ring 3 and 4, 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 again. Let's continue with our preparation. Next, cutting the blue mesh. I like to use the rotary cutter, but scissors work as well. We need to measure 18 inches and cut it 12 times. And as you can see, I like to use my scissors as a heavy thing on the mesh so it doesn't roll up again and I can do a nice cut. And also I want to point out how beautiful this blue mesh is. Just adding this metallic border changes that simple blue pattern into something so pretty. Cutting the ribbon is the next task, starting with this beautiful classic yet playful American themed ribbon. It is 2.5 inches wide, and we will need 6 times 12-inch cuts and 6 times 10-inch cuts. We also cut ducktails into the ribbon. Simply fold the end of the ribbon in half and then cut a triangle out. The blue Swiss dot ribbon was the beginning of the spools, so it has a little fold in, and I cut off that piece, that 1 inch. It is 1.5 inches in width, and we need 6 times 12 inches strips. The white ribbon is 1.5 inches in width as well. And like the American themed ribbon, we will need 6 times 12 inches and 6 times 10-inch cuts. The blue Swiss dot ribbon as well as the white ribbon will both need a ducktail. Now that we are done with the preparations, we can start assembling everything to the wreath frame. I like to double layer the mesh to add more thickness and less visibility of the wreath frame. For the first attachment, we will need to measure like 2 inches of the mesh, gather it. So walk your fingers along the mesh while grabbing the end with your thumb until you gather all the mesh, and then put it down onto the pipe cleaner attached to the wreath frame. Hold it tightly and close the pipe cleaner by giving it a few twists. To secure the first attachment, we will need the 6-inch zip tie. Push the mesh tail through the rings and then turn the wreath frame around. Attach the mesh tail to the wreath frame with this zip tie. Then we cut off the excessive tail of the zip tie. For the first poof, we need to measure 10 inches of the mesh. The measuring point starts at the pipe cleaner attachment. As before, we gather the mesh and put it down onto the next pipe cleaner next to the first attachment. Secure the mesh by giving the pipe cleaner a few tight twists. Now we continue measuring 10-inch poofs and assembling them until all 6 inner pipe cleaners have an attachment. After the last inner ring attachment, we will switch to the outer ring. Simply pull the mesh tight to the nearest pipe cleaner attachment on the outer ring and attach the mesh to it. To secure it, we will use another of the 6-inch zip ties. For the outer ring, we continue measuring 10 inches per poof, attaching on each pipe cleaner. So we will end up with 12 total poofs. A tip, what you cannot see in this video, is that I have a laundry basket sitting next to my work surface in which I am having my mesh stored, so it doesn't get all tangled up. I also store my already cut mesh in one basket. After the last poof is attached, the excessive mesh needs to be cut off and the tail need to be secured. So we cut off like 2 inches, maybe more, and push this tail we just created through the wreath frame onto the back of the frame and then secure it with a 6-inch zip tie. So this is what we got so far. This is how your wreath should look like. It's time to add the blue mesh. For this step, we will need the clip. So we pick one side of the mesh and roll in 1 inch 2 to 3 times. Attach the clip, switch the side, and repeat the step on the other side of the mesh. Then we walk our fingers up in the middle until we have all the mesh in between our fingers. Take the clip out and pick it up. So at this point, it almost looks like a bow or a butterfly. The curl side needs to face up. Keep holding it to attach it to the wreath frame. We will work from the inside to the outside again. The inside will have a blue mesh on every pipe cleaner attachment and the outside only on every other. Let's attach the ribbon now. For the outer ring, we need the 12-inch ribbon cuts. To create the ribbon bundle, we are putting down the American themed ribbon first, followed by the blue Swiss dot ribbon, and then top with the white ribbon. Grab it in the middle, and then we attach it to every pipe cleaner on the outer row, which doesn't have a blue mesh attachment. Once we attached and secured the ribbon, we can cut off the excessive pipe cleaner as we go. Also, the pipe cleaners on the outer row with a blue mesh attachment, on those we can cut off the excessive pipe cleaner. Both don't get more add-ons. To cut off the pipe cleaners, we will need an inch left on it, and then cut the rest off with the wire cutters. Scissors work too, but just my personal preference is the wire cutters. And then push that inch of pipe cleaner into the inside of the wreath. For the inner pipe cleaners, our ribbon bundle looks a little bit different. We will need the 10-inch cuts. On the bottom is the American themed ribbon and top with the white ribbon. Each pipe cleaner will get a bundle. We can cut the excessive pipe cleaner off as we go. America the Beautiful, it's time to attach the cured sign to the wreath. I use the bars which divide the sections on the wreath frame as an orientation to keep the sign straight. To attach the other side, we find the bar across from the one we just used, and once the sign is attached, we are using the jute cord to create a hanging loop. For that, we need to find the top of the wreath and knot the jute cord to the wreath frame. You can stop right here, or like I like to do, attach a felt piece to the back of the wreath just to make sure the door or wherever it's hanging doesn't get scratched. And also I feel like it looks a little bit neater. So for that step, just lay down the pre-cut felt piece to the wreath frame and poke little holes with the pointy scissors through the felt. Use the 4-inch zip ties for the attachment. It is important to work across from one side to the other so the felt piece gets pulled evenly. That's all the steps for this wreath. You can visit my website on petitewreathboutique.com. I will leave a link in the description box below. You can purchase wreaths, wreath kits, and other crafts there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I do sharing it and creating it. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!